G'day mates, welcome back to our first part of our The Money series of notable figures in British history, starting off with the Duke of Wellington, born Arthur Wellesley, PM of Great Britain, with a long ruling of November 1834 to December 1834. Arthur of Wellington spent most of his life as an Anglo-Irish soldier of war in the 19th century. As you can see, he has fought in many wars, many big wars, with his most famous one being, where is it? There it is, the Peninsular War. Moving on to George Stevenson, father of railways and co-inventor of the rocket with his son. Average speed of 12 miles per hour and top speed, making it, if it were a car, it would be technically safe to drive on normal British roads with a top speed of 30 miles an hour. Coming up, Elizabeth Fry, aka the Angel of Prisons, Quaker, prison reformer, lovely person, making prisons nice to be in so that prisoners can reform themselves from their criminal past and become nice people in society. And she also separated the men inmates from the women inmates for everybody's protection. Lastly, moving up, we have Sir Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill, and with the picture we have shown, it is not the picture I have shown. Why is this not the picture I have chosen? What's that? The Eagles got the picture I wanted. The Eagles got the picture I wanted. Why have the Eagles got the picture I wanted? I booked it. I chose it. I pinned it. And how did the Eagles get it? Why is it every time that I want to pick Winston, there's always that one eagle who just says, I'm already Winston. No, go to hell, you stupid eagles. Just go to hell, man. Moving on to Sir Winston Churchill, famous for saying many things to inspire the soldiers in the Second World War II. Born British American and best known for his leadership during World War II after Neville Chamberlain, and then later became a PM after the war and won some awards from the Queen. As well as his wartime work, he is known for his cheesy motivational quotes. If you don't believe me about the motivational quote, here it is. I no longer listen to what people say, I just watch what they do. Behavior never lies. Well then, I wonder what my behavior tells people about me. Moving on, diplomacy is the art of telling people to go to hell in such a way they ask for directions. Nowadays, if someone was told to go to hell, they'd probably go online to Google Maps and then ask for directions for hell. Oh wait, no, that's just... So, Winston. Which hell are we talking about? Hellditch, Hellfire Caves, Hellwood, Hell Ditch Meadows, Llamas Lands, Hell Corner, Hell Coppice, Heaven and Hell Tattoo Studio, Hell to Pay Tattoo Shop, Seventh Circle of Hell, Angelic Hell London, ooh, another tattoo shop, Gates of Hell, oh, this one is a school, Development Hell, it's a publisher, Heaven Sent Hell Raised, video production, Hell Raisers, contractors, Hell Cops, actually this one makes sense, Hell Cops, RHR, Raise Hell Recordings, I mean music industry can be hellish. Oh look, it's Bletchley! Wait no, where is it? Where's Bletchley? Where's Bletchley? There's Bletchley. Biggleswade. Charles Hell House. I mean, to be fair, Charles the Prince of Wales is a bit of a nonce, and Hell does kind of fit in with his personality. Moving on to Hellwood, another woods, Hell on Earth, another school, Bat Out of Hell. I like how there is a second page with Hell Bunny Clothing, the inner depths of my own hell, Angelic Hell Tattoo, Hell Patrol Records, Hell in a Cell. Oh, it's an escape room center. This one doesn't count. Hellstone Dolmen, Hell Pizza, permanently closed. I wonder why this is permanently closed. Moving on. Socialism is a philosophy of failure, the creed of ignorance, and the gospel of envy. Its inherent virtue is the equal sharing of misery. If any of you viewers understand what this quote means, do say in the comment section, because I do not. Moving on. You will never reach your destination if you stop and throw stones at every dog that barks. Okay, first of all, animal cruelty. Second of all, this makes sense. If you have a goal in mind, then you need to focus on your own goal, and if there are side missions you see on the way, which you probably will, you can't complete all the side missions and expect to meet your goal on time, because you can't multitask. Moving on to when you're 20, you care what everyone thinks. When you're 40, you stop caring what everyone thinks. When you're 60, you realize no one was ever thinking about you in the first place. Sad. You have enemies? Good. That means you've stood up for something sometime in your life. I mean, this is sad, but I guess that's life, which again is sad. Moving on. A nation that forgets its past has no future. I mean, who can ever forget the unproblematic era of 19th century Britain? Or the 40s, the 1940s, or the 1910s. Nothing problematic ever happened there. Nothing problematic happened with the British Empire or the French Empire, especially not in the Middle East. Eesh. Or the Ottoman Empire, or the Germans, or the Americans, or just way back to ancient times with the Mediterranean armies. Yep, nothing problematic ever happened then. Moving on. Fear is a reaction. Courage is a decision. I choose to feel fear. Moving on. If you're not a liberal at 20, you have no heart. If you're not a conservative at 40, you have no brain. This ties back to his quote earlier with, when you're 20, you care about other people, and when you're 40, you stop caring about other people. Yep, this is it. Moving on. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Deep. There's nothing government can give you that it hasn't taken from you in the first place. Taxes. You pay tax, the tax value stuff comes back to you in return for more tax going to the government. It's about taxes. Tax. Life is all about tax. Everyone is in favor of free speech. Hardly a day passes without it being extolled, but some people's idea of it is that they are free to say what they like, but if anyone else says something back, that is an outrage. Yep, that's people for you. You can give them rules and give them more rules, and there are going to be rules that people agree with and will happily follow, and then there will be the troublemakers who disagree with some rules and may want to challenge them, and they get called rapscallions because that's what life is. That's just life. Calling them rapscallions. Yep, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Some men change the party for the sake of their principles. Others, their principles for the sake of their party. I just want to say, this others group, cowards. The positive thinker sees the invisible, feels the intangible, and achieves the impossible. And the Stevensons of the world go past the impossible, where the impossible and the possible meet. This is called the possible. A nation that fails to honor its heroes soon will have no heroes to honor. I mean, you gotta honor your fallen. You gotta honor your fallen. That's just common human sense. That's just something you have to do. A pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity. An optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. Moving on. I'd rather argue against 100 idiots than have one agree with me. I, on the other hand, would like to have one idiot agree with me, and then we can have a tag team with arguments, so that when I get tired of giving my points or run out of points to say, then my loyal idiot friend can switch places with me, repeat what I want to say with 100% charisma, win the hearts of other fellow idiots, and then I can have an idiot army working for me. Moving on. The main vice of capitalism is the uneven distribution of prosperity. The main vice of socialism is the even distribution of misery. Which is why, unfortunately, communism cannot work in the long term, because it gets boring. Life gets boring. You're not really living. You're just existing. And capitalism promotes growth and succession and also division. Moving on. If you will not fight for right when you can easily win without bloodshed, if you will not fight when your victory will be sure and not too costly, you may come to the movement when you will have to fight with all odds against you and only a precarious chance of survival. There may even be a worse fate. You may have to fight when there is no hope of victory, because it is better to perish than to live as slaves. Deep. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Deep. A good speech should be like a woman's skirt, long enough to cover the subject and short enough to create interest. Success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. To be fair, this sounds like a fun week. Challenging yourself with all sorts of tasks, and you're not gaining anything. I mean, you're not like gaining any prizes, but you're not technically losing anything. I mean, you may lose some money for like that week, but after that week you're gonna get money back some way, so you know. But you're also gonna have a story to tell others about failing with style, and a learning lesson for not failing next time you do any of these tasks again. All the great things are simple, and many can be expressed in a single word: freedom, justice, honor, duty, mercy, hope. Deep. The Russian Bolsheviks have discovered that truth does not matter so long as there is reiteration. They have no difficulty whatever encountering a fact by a lie, which, if repeated often enough and loudly enough, becomes accepted by the people. The Russian Bolsheviks got this truth from Adolf Hitler, because this is something he has said. Moving on, if you're going through hell, keep going. Which, good advice. Who wants to stay in hell? I mean, if you're being ordered to go to hell, then why stop at hell? Why not just keep going through hell and then stop outside on the other side and say, and then you can tell people that I went through hell. I met the devil and I walked away. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. End of video. This concludes our video on notable figures on the British £5 sterling. Stay tuned for part 2, 3, and 4.